I met the guy that I play with, so Alex, or AB is his artist name. He plays piano for me whenever I perform at gigs. And I met him 4 years ago at Poetical Words when it was at Lawrence's place in Richmond. And they had pillows all over the floor and living with his parents, and all the people would pour in the door and we'd just sit and Q would do meditating, and it was really cool. But I met him during like the interval between two halves, and Alex was playing the most amazing classical piano. And I went over and I was just like, la 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 la, like singing over the top. And he was like, who are you? And I was like, who are you? Anyway, we lost touch. And when I got back from Paris, I just got a message from him. And we've just been vibing and growing with each other ever since. And so that was like 4 months ago when I got back 4 or 5 months ago. Yeah, when I got back from Paris. And it's just amazing, like when the juices are flowing, when you have that like creative collaboration with people. I mean, this podcast is kind of the same. It's a creative collaboration, even if it's not in the same format. I think it's really beautiful to think about creativity like that.
Yeah. I can't remember where this started. What was
you'll find with me that happens to you. It's very contagious. I end up having these really wild conversations with people because I'm just like, talking about 10 things at once, and I apologise.
No, I do exactly the same thing. Like, I'll start talking about one thing, then that thing will lead me on to thinking about something else, and that will go into that story, and I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't even finish this story.
Yeah.
And I'm going on to the next story. And then you jump back to this one, and they'll be like, wait, hang on, where are we?
Honestly, I was in a lecture and I was talking about how initially I didn't connect with David Bowie, which is crazy to me now, but I just heard one of his songs for the first time and I thought, there's no structure, I don't understand. Like, I was really expecting verse, chorus, bridge, repeated chorus, and it was just, it was something else, and I was going, oh my god, like, secretly, I would never say I don't like David Bowie, because I probably, I didn't want to seem inferior by having that opinion, because you do get that with some things. But my dad said to me, he used to come back from nights out, he'd buy a whole loaf of white bread and peanut butter and jam, and just lay on his bed, eat like 3 or 4 sandwiches of peanut butter and jam, and just listen to David Bowie's album. And that's when he really was appreciating the music, because again, back to the connection thing, back to being able to connect with the audience, back to skipping on Spotify. There's a real through line in all the things that we've been talking about. And, going and consciously buying a loaf of bread and having peanut butter and jam sandwiches and listening to David Bowie. That's why I want people to be with my music. Yeah. I want people to listen to my poetry. That I've written something called Orange, which I'm really excited about.
I've heard it.
Yeah. At the last Poetical Word. That was cool. Thanks.
You've done the poem at the first one that I met you.
Yeah.
And then
the progression
song version. I was just like,
What do you think of the song?
It's different to the poem.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of the essence of what the poem is about, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. That's really nice. I'm building a body of work around it. So for those of you listening, it will hopefully be out in 6 months' time.
Okay.
But I want to create this organic buzz. Like I said, I want people to go out and buy a loaf of, well, it wouldn't be white bread anymore, it'd be something like sourdough or rye. I want you to go buy some sourdough and some avocado and listen to my tune called Orange and appreciate it. But I think there are certain artists that are harder to access. And you've got to give them the time and build that rapport with them, even if you can't see them, or you've got to give people time. I think it's important.
Like, have you heard of this artist called what's his name? Alan Raymond?
No, I haven't.
He's an R&B singer.
Okay.
I really love him because he's like me, like in the sense that I don't like to give people context on my poetry.
Yeah.
I would prefer I'm more interested in other people's perception as opposed to.
I completely agree with that. I think I wouldn't be one of those people to go, and this song is about, because you're sharing a story, but you want it to resonate in people however they want it to resonate within them, because it's not about you. it's about them and that connection and that meeting the audience halfway. Yes, being vulnerable and letting them in on your stories, but also allowing them to relish in theirs.
Yeah, but like it's just the fact that he hardly talks. Don't know what's going on with my throat.
Oh no, it's okay, don't worry. That was so ironic as well. He hardly talks.
Yeah, he hardly talks, and then like I listened to a live set of him on Spotify, and he's like he literally just plays song after song, and it's just like
without any bits in between.
Maybe he might announce the name of the title of the song or whatever, but he just plays it, and it's just nice to experience it that way. And he is on social media, but he doesn't really talk much, he doesn't really post much, he'd rather let the music do the talking for him.
Yeah.
So as far as the music takes him,
that's really interesting. I guess it just comes down to what kind of an artist you are. I definitely pick my moments to talk about random things. No, I pick my moments, in between songs, for example, to if I feel like I need to express something, I will. I just kind of flow with the set, see how it's going. But I like to have that. I like to let people in a tiny bit more. But I mean, not talking in between your songs doesn't mean you're not letting people in. Like you say, it's a different experience, and maybe I'll try that one time to not say anything else, but just express my music.
Yeah.
See what perception comes from that. I think it'd be really interesting.
Yeah. What is the other topics on news? Did you hear about Charlie Sloth leaving the BBC?
Yes, I did.
Well, I mean, I saw his post on Instagram yesterday. It was like, thanks to the BBC for giving him 10 years.
Yeah.
And he thanked certain people within the BBC that helped nurture and progress his career and stuff like that. But I didn't know that he was leaving the BBC to go to Apple Music, though. That's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. I mean, are they okay with that?
I mean, hey man, he worked there for 10 years. He gave them like he was like what's his name, Tim Westwood, when Tim Westwood was popping and back at the BBC and helping kind of bridge the gap between urban music, unfortunately. I mean that in the sense that I find this interesting. I was talking to it's just making me think of diversity within the BBC.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to someone that I met randomly on Saturday. I was doing a house viewing, and the person never turned up. What was worse was I arrived to the property early because the owner of the property said that there was a problem getting in the door. It's like it's stuck, or it's really hard to open the door. They sent me instructions on what key to put in first and everything like that. So I was just like, oh shit, but I've been here before. Like the door's a bit stiff, but it's not hard. So like I got there early to try and open this door. Yeah. The door just flew open. I'm not like there was no difficulty opening the door at all. So I was just like, there was no reason for me to get here early. Yeah. Then the guy never turns up. I call him, and apparently he called my boss, the agent, but he got no response. He couldn't get through to him, so to let him know that he wasn't going to turn up. I spoke to my manager. My manager said, well, I had no missed calls, so clearly he just never turned up. So I was walking back through Limehouse Market, and they were saying like this broadcast thing outside out, and I was speaking to this lady. She was doing a thing where they were just talking to people. It was a live broadcast / podcast where they were talking to people within the community about the community. Because I mentioned that I was working for Purple Brick. She wanted to kind of find out a little bit more about like the property, or what I knew about the property market. So I was like, yeah, sure. And then I mentioned the only reason why I went over there was I just saw the mics, and I was like, I got a podcast. What is this? So I mentioned my podcast. She was like, yeah, cool, you can come on, plug your podcast and stuff like that. But then we were talking, and she mentioned how she went to a radio and broadcasting conference a couple of weeks ago or so, and she said that she felt a bit uncomfortable when she was in the room and she looked around and everyone looked the same, is what she said. What she meant was, I assume, is everyone was white.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting. And then she went on to say that even at the BBC, she said that she finds that the BBC are kind of unsure about where to look to kind of make their broadcasting service more diverse. This is what she said to me. She said that because they're even within the BBC, they're kind of feeling like they want to make it more diverse.
Yeah.
But they're not sure where to look to find the talent to. But
it's, just open the fucking door, man. Like, just open it. Hello, come in.
I didn't say that at the time. I was just like, oh, you don't know. I wanted to say just go somewhere, go to an event.
Can I ask sorry, so was she the minority of the minority in the room?
She was.
And she's commenting on...
No, she wasn't the minority. She was the majority. That's what she said. She said that her and a few other people felt uncomfortable that there wasn't more of a mixed group.
And that they're not sure where to look.
And within the BBC, they said that they're not sure of where to look to make this dive.
But it shouldn't be... It's a difficult one because it shouldn't be a case of going, okay, we need to fill a quota of people. That's crazy. Like, I've always felt that you should just have a really equal approach to it, and hopefully, the people who really deserve the jobs will get it. And I think naturally it will happen that you get a really nice diverse range of people, because if you're really looking for diversity of mind, all the rest will follow beautifully. It's not a case of going, okay, we have to fill out a certain quota of people and then we'll look at people's minds and people's accomplishments. No, man, just be open-minded, full stop. Don't see the way that people look first. Look into their mind. I had the most beautiful moment where I was at this small family-run festival in Bicester, actually. It's called the Badger Fest, and it's been running for 9 years. It was started by 4 sisters who decided to put on a little festival.
The Badger Fest?
Yeah, a little festival when their parents were going on holiday, so they invited all their friends down. They have this really long, deep garden.
Does it involve badgers?
No. But I guess it's in the countryside or something. Well, it is in the countryside, but maybe that's the relation between... Anyway, they invited all their friends down, their friends brought tents and stuff, and then their parents turned around and said, we're not going away anymore. So they came clean about the fact that they had this plan for the festival, and their parents' response was, well, we want to get involved. So then it turned into, it's been going 9 years now, and they're going to do a winter one as well, which is really cool. But I was at this festival for the first time, and I met the gorgeous Ella at the open mics around Kingston, the cricketers, and so we used to frequent on a Sunday when I was 15. It was awesome.
I think I've been to Kingston 3 times.
It used to be my ends. But anyway, I'm at this festival, and this guy Connor gets on the mic, and it was an open mic, and he's just playing all these blues riffs, and I was like, I really want to be up there. I'm gonna go up there. So I just got up and I was like, hey mate, can I share mics with you? And I just got on one of the mics next to him, and we just started vibing. And I hadn't spoken to him at all the whole evening. And the first thing he says to me after we get off the mic, he's like, oh my gosh, who are you? It's crazy, I met your mind before I met you. And I feel like that should be the BBC's response to, I don't know where to look. Look into people's personalities and minds, and the rest will follow suit.
Yeah.
I think I've always found it a struggle to understand, and it is a difficult one, because that being said, I don't know if you're looking into people's minds it's a difficult one. It's like, at my brother's school, they started including girls in the sixth form, and then they had a girl, head girl, and then they had a head boy. Obviously, they represented both parties, and I think that's really important. But it's always going to be difficult in situations like that, to be fair. And I don't really have an ultimate answer as to how to.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting, the conversation, and you see on kind of